Welcome back, everyone. Today, we've got an absolutely fascinating explainer lined up for you. We're looking at one of the most recognizable tech products in the world right now, and we're going to unpack a massive paradox right at the center of it. You see, it's a story of incredible technology, for sure, but more importantly, it's a story of economics. We're going to break down exactly how OpenAI actually makes money. So let's just get right into the core contradiction of this entire business. ChatGPT can answer your questions, draft your emails, write code, analyze complex documents, and millions of people use it every single day without paying a cent. I mean, it is completely free for the average user. But as we're going to see today, creating and running artificial intelligence is astronomically expensive. So how on earth does a company give away such a wildly capable, incredibly expensive product and still manage to build a viable business model?
Well, the basic problem boils down to this massive, really undeniable imbalance. On one side, you have millions of free users. On the other side, massive computing costs. Every single time you type a prompt into ChatGPT and hit enter, it costs OpenAI actual computing power to generate that answer. It's not like traditional software where making a copy is, virtually free. There is a hard, physical cost attached to every single interaction. To understand how they bridge this massive gap, we've got to peel back the layers of their business model, starting with what we can easily see.
Section 1, the visible engine, subscriptions and enterprise plans. All right, so this is the consumer subscription pipeline, and it's basically their first money machine. It starts with the free user. You get them in the door, they realize how incredibly useful the tool is, and eventually a solid portion of them become power users. These power users, they start hitting usage limits, or maybe they just want access to the absolute newest, smartest models available. So they willingly convert to step 3, a paid subscription. And step 4? Well, that's the holy grail for any software business, recurring revenue. OpenAI successfully turns individual curiosity into a predictable monthly payment stream. But individual consumers are really just the tip of the iceberg here.
Because the math changes completely when we scale up. A consumer might buy one single subscription for themselves, right? But a business might buy hundreds or even thousands of employee seats all at once. Enterprise AI workspaces are designed specifically for companies. These companies are paying for enhanced security and administration because obviously they absolutely cannot have their proprietary data leaking out. They pay to integrate AI directly with their own internal company knowledge to automate workflows, boost productivity, and accelerate coding. This is enterprise software, and businesses simply have a much, much higher willingness to pay than your average consumer.
Section 2, the invisible engine, the API business machine.
To really grasp the sheer scale of OpenAI's ambitions, we have to look deeper than just their own apps. Think of ChatGPT like a restaurant. It's the dining room where you sit down, look at the menu, and get served. The API, or Application Programming Interface, well, that's the kitchen. OpenAI allows thousands of other businesses, developers, and apps to use that exact same AI kitchen to cook up intelligence for their own menus. Instead of a person opening ChatGPT, developers are essentially building OpenAI's brain directly into their own software products.
And here's how that invisible engine actually prints cash. It is a highly scalable loop. Developers send requests from their own applications. OpenAI servers process that data. Then the developers pay OpenAI based on what's called token usage. Essentially, they're paying for the exact amount of computing work OpenAI had to do to process the text or data. As those external apps grow and get more of their own users, they send more requests to OpenAI, and OpenAI makes more money. And this is where AI stops being just an app and literally becomes the underlying infrastructure of the internet.
Section 3, the hidden bill, the massive cost of compute. Now here's the antagonist of our story. Free does not equal free to run. Generating an AI answer is fundamentally different from just serving up a traditional web page. Behind that sleek, minimalist chat interface we're all used to is a massive, incredibly expensive, and power-hungry economic engine burning cash 24/7.
Let's actually break down that hidden bill, because the cost of intelligence is quite frankly staggering. To make this whole thing work, you need incredibly expensive GPUs, those specialized computer chips, and the physical infrastructure to house them. We're talking massive, sprawling data centers. Then there's the energy cost. Staggering amounts of electricity are required just to train the models in the first place, and then even more electricity is needed for inference, which is just the industry term for actually answering a user's prompt. Finally, you have to pay top-tier research talent and engineers to build and maintain the whole shebang. Making money from AI is definitively not as simple as selling regular software. So, the fundamental economic challenge for OpenAI, and really the entire AI industry right now, comes down to a race. Yes, you have rising revenue from subscriptions, enterprise deals, and all that API usage. But breathing right down its neck are those surging compute costs. Generating revenue isn't enough. They have to generate revenue that outpaces costs to actually hit attractive margins.
Section 4, the strategy, the AI business flywheel.
So how do they plan to outrun those costs? Well, it's through a survival mechanism known as the flywheel. Step 1, they buy more compute to train better, smarter models. Step 2, those better models lead to better products, which naturally attract more users. Step 3, massive user adoption forces more business adoption, which generates massive revenue. And then step 4, they take that revenue and pump it right back into buying even more compute to build even better models and start the whole cycle over again. The ultimate goal here is to spin this flywheel so fast and become so utterly dominant that the economics of scale finally tip in their favor. Section 5, the ultimate gamble. Can AI intelligence be sustainably profitable? Which leads us to our final analysis. There are two very distinct ways to view this technological gamble. The bull case argues that huge consumer adoption, massive enterprise demand, and API growth will turn AI into the foundational infrastructure of the future. The sheer volume of monetization channels will easily outpace the costs. But you have to look at the bear case too, which points to those enormous, unavoidable compute costs. It highlights the intense competition that is already driving down prices, and it warns of model commoditization. This idea that if everyone eventually builds a smart AI, pricing pressure is going to destroy any hope of long-term attractive profit margins. It's a massive, massive technological gamble.
And that brings us to the biggest takeaway of this entire explainer. OpenAI isn't really trying to sell you a chatbot. It is trying to turn intelligence itself into a service people and companies pay for. That is the paradigm shift here. They aren't just selling an app. They are trying to become the utility company for human-level reasoning. If this model works, the business opportunity is vastly bigger than just ChatGPT. It becomes woven into the fabric of literally every other business on Earth. So I want to leave you with a final, pretty provocative thought. Based on the incredible revenue engines and the staggering hidden costs we've explored today, is OpenAI building the most important software business in history, or are they building the most expensive technology business ever created? The answer to that question will literally shape the future of the global economy. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.